So what we're going to share today is some, call it secrets, herbs and spices, the recipes, execution. We're going to talk about how we measure that as well. Let's get into today's masterclass. So Peter, this is a good one. And I'm sure everyone might be a little bit interested in this statistic, because I know I was when I first saw it as well. So 48% of first sales hires fail. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, there's a few things that factor into that, right? Like honestly, a lot of founders, small business owners, haven't come from a sales background where they understand what they're competing against. And often I hear them say, well, if they can sell, then they'll get paid, right? Like I'll just get a commission only salesperson, right? Which from a founder's point of view makes complete sense. I mean, why wouldn't you just pay somebody on commission who's in sales, right? Like pay them if they perform. But here's the reality of what you're up against in the market. If you're good at selling business to business, now selling to consumers is different. But if you're selling business to business, you can walk into 100 plus 120,000 in salary plus commissions if you're average, right, as a B2B salesperson. And so if you're a B2B salesperson who can walk into that sort of salary, make up to double that in commissions, with a proven process for doing it, why would you walk into a small business on a commission only setup? Like you'd need the ability to earn exponentially more than that, which isn't really plausible in a lot of small businesses or believable, right? Because there's a lot of risk. You got to figure things out. So as a first sales hire, it's actually it's quite a different role. I'll say challenging, but it's got different challenges. So this is one of the other issues that I see. Some small businesses that do have a bit of budget, they go, great, I know someone who's really good at sales. They're a big high performer. They pluck them from a Salesforce or an Oracle or a, HubSpot or somewhere else where they've been performing really well. Here's the thing, a first sales hire is a completely different role. Sure, it has the sales element and those things are really important, but building something from scratch with little to no market awareness or brand, systems and processes, evolution of your ideal customer profile, like all of those things need to be built as you go. And it takes a different character and type of person to be able to succeed in that environment as it does to those other sales environments. So whether you're sitting on one extreme or the other, this is what we're seeing out there in the market, trying to hire commission only or pay next to nothing. And then you're getting people who are really inexperienced in a really challenging sales role, or people who are very experienced and you expect them to perform, but they don't actually understand what it takes to succeed in a small business environment. So with them, you want to be asking, how big are the businesses you've worked in, and what's your all sorts of questions we can go into. But to answer that initial question that you asked, these are some of the reasons, the assumptions that small businesses go into. And even if they don't fit into one of those extremes, they just expect, great, hire salesperson produces revenue. That's the top level of, yes, what you're trying to invest in, but there's a set of things that you want to put in place that significantly increase the likelihood of having a first successful sales hire. I did actually meet one founder once, Paul. He'd hired 20 salespeople and kept one of them, right? Now, it doesn't take a genius to look at like the numbers there and go, there's something wrong with the business and the way that you're approaching sales as opposed to the salespeople that are being hired, right? And so as a business owner, what you want to do to really reduce the likelihood of you being in that 48% is put a few key things in place. And as we go through today's session, we'll be talking about some of those things.